Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ful-on, your Fulham-centric football podcast. I'm your host, Ash Woolford. Joining me today for our Liverpool preview is the full team. AJ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm okie dokie. And yourself?
Yeah, okay. We'll see how this goes. You know, it's a big game to talk about. It was coming recently, so we'll see. Mozza, how you doing, buddy?
Very good. I've had the greatest hits of Jerry and the Pacemakers on all day, so I'm raring to go.
And Drew, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I've just been in my bins, so yeah, I'm okay, mate.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this one, obviously. Big game coming up on Sunday, obviously playing Liverpool, who have been outstanding this season. You know, credit where credit is due. They have been absolutely brilliant, and Arne Slot has done a great job of taking over from, you know, arguably Liverpool's best ever manager, who's put a team together that have been outstanding. Since they've signed one player during the summer who's turned out to be a bit of a flop. He's done wonders in the sense of keeping that squad winning. Big game for us on Sunday in terms of what we should expect. We don't know. AJ, I ask you this question every show, and I'll ask you it again. What should we expect squad-wise going into this game on Sunday? I already know one of the things you want to see, but give us a breakdown on what you're expecting squad-wise.
Justice for Bender. Kidding. No. Yeah, I think there's going to be some wholesale changes. Want to convert back to the back four. I don't want to see us in a back five system again for the rest of the season, frankly. Although I can understand that there might be some rationale behind playing ultra defensive against Liverpool, considering their form and their expectation. I've seen a lot of calls for Diop over Anderson. I think Diop's been exceptional this season, but I wouldn't drop Anderson. I think even at 70-80% of his form, he's still an exceptional footballer and a much bigger improvement on the centre backs we've been working with in previous seasons. Midfield, just don't show me anything other than ESR. I don't care if it's Tom Kearney. I don't care if it's Andreas Pereira. I don't care if it's King. I don't care if it's Iwobi. I don't care if it's motherfucking Castagna in central midfield. Just don't show me ESR. Wide options, Sessegnon has to start, in my opinion. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it at right wing / right mid, because I think he can offer defensive support to Castagna, who has had the absolute life ripped out of him recently. No fault of his own. He's tired. He's had a lot of hard work to do over a long, congested fixture period, but it gives Castagna some extra defensive cover, as well as seeing Willian on the left wing would be ideal for me. Up top, I think it's Nunez. I think he has to start, considering his form, especially in these big games.
Yeah, I don't think there's much argument with that. You know, we as we discussed after the Arsenal game, Nunez has sort of hit the ground running, especially scoring against teams that are considered to be the bigger clubs. You know, away from home, he's doing it well. You know, but Jimenez hasn't played bad either. So it's one of those ones where it's a real here or there. That's a real fencer for me. But I think I pretty much agree with you with other stuff. I would like to see some players dropped. I'd like to see some players rested more than being dropped. And I want to see some youth just inflated in. The only thing for me is it's Liverpool, and whether or not this is the game you do that to players is a bit, you know, again, it's a bit of a hard one. Drew, you weren't here for the Arsenal review. You also sort of didn't do the preview for them. We spoke about all we really wanted because we weren't expecting much in terms of result, was a reaction and a performance. We didn't really see it. We really do need to see a reactionary performance on Sunday against Liverpool. Not really expecting much result-wise, but if we're going to show we do have any fight and we still have a chance to get in those European spaces, we really need to sort of show something, don't we?
Yeah, we do. From the Arsenal game, though, and I know you boys have already covered it, so I'm not going to go over old ground. I mean, we didn't do anything really until the last 10 minutes. The problem is that Arsenal are in a much weaker state than Liverpool. Liverpool need 13 from the remaining 24 points to clinch the title. They will be looking at the game at Fulham. Bear in mind, we're on a 2-game losing streak, as 3 points. So, which will leave them in a situation where they effectively need 3 wins and a draw. I take on board everything AJ said, and I can see exactly where he's coming from. But I have to side with you on this, Ash. I'm not so sure I just throw the kids in. It's not a game for our better ball players because we're not going to have a lot of the ball. So that means no Kearney for me. That means no ESR. This is going to be about keeping it tight, keeping it close, working really hard. If we were to start a midfield that involved Lukic, Berge, and Harrison Reed, I would not complain. I really wouldn't. We've got to stop the rot because we're on a 2-game skid. And we've talked about it before. We're just running out of steam, Ash, as you would say. And saying we need a performance, that's right. I just worry that we don't have it in us. That's what concerns me. I mean, the Fulham faithful spoke loud and clear when they voted Sessegnon man of the match on the Fulham website against Arsenal. I think AJ's right. I think he's got to start. And we need to put in people that I would say the more senior pros that haven't played a lot of football. I would settle. I would take a draw. I would absolutely take a draw right now. Anything positive to start restoring confidence. You're right. We do need a result, but as I've said, I'm mindful how hard the Marco's starting 11 have worked, and I just don't know how much we've got left in the tank. And especially against Liverpool, play a high press, and they're incredibly athletic, and they've got the strength in depth to be able to be interchangeable with their squad parts. And I will say this: I mean, you've already touched on Arne Slot. I mean, he's gone for evolution rather than revolution. A less secure manager would have gone into Liverpool and tried to stamp their own authority on it, but he hasn't, because it's the classic old maxim of it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. They are going to be league champions. They're going to be worthy league champions. I just hope that we're just able to withstand the onslaught because our boys have worked so hard. You've got to remember, Liverpool had a couple of big letdowns back to back, but they might have righted the ship with their victory over Everton. So it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, it is one of those games, really. I think we have to look at it and we have to try and look at what's going to be positive in terms of a result for Fulham on Sunday. We all know if anyone offered you a draw right now, all of us would take it in a heartbeat, right? Mozza, we have to look at this game and look at, what we have and being positive. And I know you are somebody who likes to try be positive in the sense of what we have and what we can do. What do you expect on Sunday? What do you want to see on Sunday in terms of the performance? The bit of heart that, if we have to send them all the video of the ending of the Palace review, we will do in order to hit the emote that we need to get. But, what do we need realistically in terms of a performance to come away and at least be satisfied that we've seen something?
Not anything too different, I suppose, from what we said in the Arsenal preview and review, where we just want to see some fight. Yeah, we don't go into yet another game with another top 6 club expecting a result, but just to echo what we've talked about then, we would all take a draw. I don't think it's going to be 0-0, but we'll wait for our scoreline predictions at the end as usual. However, with all that said, it might just be me, and I don't mean to project. I just feel fatigued from the last 2 games. God knows what the squad's going to be like, what the morale is like, what the staff, Silva, the rest of the coaches are feeling like. I imagine it. Well, if there is one person that is going to, have some bollocks about him, it will be Marcus Silva. But you would have thought that before we played Palace and Arsenal. So I really don't know. And all these games, I don't want to blame it on like lack of time or lack of rest. But even before the Palace game, we had players away, didn't we? Was it in the Copa Cup? Sorry if I've said that wrong. And we were then already going, will they be rested enough? And then there's been, what, 3 games in almost the space of a week. I'm not using this as an excuse or to preface if we get completely annihilated or if we give a completely dismal performance. But I'm going to the game on Sunday, and I can't remember the last time I'm not really excited to go to Craven Cottage. I just feel like I've just got this drag inside of me. But then again, maybe it's just me feeling personally tired. I don't feel, despite the end of that last show where I got emotional, that was for different reasons. But yeah, I just don't feel very motivated myself as a fan for the game. So I don't know. It probably says more about me than Fulham. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It really doesn't. It really does. It 100% makes sense. I think we've had the wind knocked out of our sails over the last couple of weeks, right? We've all been sat there going, we're so close to potentially making it into Europe, whether that was through the cup or in the league. And now, the cup dream's gone after the abysmal performance against Palace. You look at the fixtures we've got coming ahead, and we came out of that Palace game going in the next month. We've got Arsenal, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and then Chelsea, and those are 4 massive games. All right, Bournemouth have sort of gone off a cliff at the moment, but that's not surprising considering the size of their squad and the injuries that they've had. They were battered above themselves for ages, considering the injuries they've had this season. We're probably arguing in the exact same spot in a sense of we've got a lot of players that have covered a lot of minutes because they're covering positions that we got no covering. You look at Timothy Castagna, who has played every minute since December when Tete got injured, and he's played every minute, not even because we've got no right hand side cover at all. You look at Anthony Robertson, who's pretty much played every minute. He got rested for the Wolves game, but that was because of his groin injury that meant that Fulham sort of needed to in order for him to play on the weekend in the bigger league game. You look at players like Iwobi, who has covered so many different positions and looks like he's everyone's bemoaned the fact that he hasn't put in a good performance for a couple of months, but he's been dead on his feet for months. For us, realistically, we're looking to go, look, we are in a whisker of a chance of getting into Europe next season. That chance is sort of dwindling more and more, because of the way that the cup's looking and the fact that, at one point England was looking like they were going to get 9, potentially 10 European spots. That's now looking like it's only going to be 8, and we're fighting for those positions. We've got some tough games coming up, and we need to stay in that European fight if we've got any chance of doing it. My concern is, and AJ, I want your opinion on this, please, because it is a real concern. Is, do we have the squad to do that? Luckily, look at the players that we have coming back within the next couple of weeks that might see some rejuvenation in certain spots. But can this squad realistically keep the fight going as a whole? Not necessarily on Sunday, but just in the next couple of weeks.
That's a question and a half. Who have we got remaining? Liverpool, no. Bournemouth away, maybe. Chelsea, I'll put a pin in that one. Southampton, yes. Villa, maybe. Everton, yes. Brentford, I'll put a pin in as well. And City, no. So it's going to be a really tough one. The squad's fitness, it's already being tested. It can't get much worse than it already is, surely. At what point are they already playing on fumes? Like, it's a tough one. The issue we'll have next is if their fitness drops any lower, we'll start seeing players injured because of it. Say we lose Castagna in this game against Liverpool. Say we lose Robinson to a groin injury for 3 games. Say we lose Berge for 2 or 3 games to an injury. Willian, like that's where it's going to get tough. If we're going to continue to play the same 11 and not give the kids a chance, granted, I'm not saying give the kids a chance necessarily against Liverpool because, as you guys have alluded to, it's too big of a game too soon for them. But if we're not going to at least give them some minutes, especially if we're already losing, to try and take some of the weight off of senior players' legs, we're going to be in a long, grueling haul for the last 8 games. Do we have it in us? Not without the help of other teams also fucking up. If we get European football, it's not because we've gone on and steamed everyone, although I'd love for that to happen. It's because the teams around us have also had trouble.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that logic when you think about it. Look, lads, let's finish this preview how we always finish these previews. Try not to mention their whole squad when we do it. Players to watch from both teams and a scoreline prediction, please, from all of you. Mozza, I'll start with you, mate. Can I have a player to watch from both teams and a scoreline prediction, please?
It's good. It's going to be, again, an obvious one, I think, for Liverpool, but Harvey Elliott. Don't know if Trent Alexander-Arnold is still on the scene, but maybe him just out of...
He likes a game against us.
Recently.
He's injured, so...
Yeah. Oh, is he injured? Okay, we'll rule that one out then. I really don't know for us. I really don't know. If Emil Smith-Rowe starts, I'll say Emil Smith-Rowe, and it's not for good reasons. Scoreline prediction, I'll say 2-2, and that's me trying to be optimistic.
He's calling it a Desmond.
Brave,
he's calling
man.
it a Desmond. All right then. Okay, Drew, how about yourself, buddy? Player to watch from both teams and a scoreline prediction.
I don't know. Diaz seems to have played quite well against us. I mean, Salah's the obvious choice. Gakpo, if he plays, is good. So one of those 3 for us. Hopefully Sessegnon will start and play because he will definitely be up for it. Scoreline prediction: Liverpool will score at least twice. They will score at least twice. I think we will lose. It's either going to be 2-0 or 2-1. But I think, I think. I mean, if we were to get anything out of this, the few chances that we do get, we've got to capitalise on. We really have to. But I think Liverpool will score at least twice. So I'll go 2-0 Liverpool.
That's a fair one, I think. And AJ, what about yourself, mate?
The attackers are obvious for Liverpool, so I'm actually going to go with Curtis Jones. If we see either Willian or Sessegnon on that left wing, it could be an interesting game for Curtis Jones, especially if we are at all positive in our outlook and the way we play. It could be an interesting game for Curtis Jones compared to that of Trent, who always typically has a decent game against us, and we don't have to worry about how well he defends against one of our fullbacks because he's never in defensive positions anyway. One of our wingers. For Fulham, it'll be Ryan Sessegnon if he starts. If he doesn't, it'll be Willian because I am almost certain that one of those 2 will be starting at left wing, and I think they'll be the players for us to watch. Score prediction: 4-1 Liverpool. Honestly, if we somehow miraculously win this game, I will record the reaction in my boxer shorts on 0.8 zoom so you can see my goodies. Like, honestly, it ain't happening. If we get a draw, fair enough. That's credit to the squad, but we ain't winning this one. Sorry, boys.
If that is a motivation to get a win for the players, I don't know what is. By the way, I'll send this on to a couple of them just to see, see what they fancy, Look, I think we have to be realistic. This Liverpool squad is outstanding, right? And Drew alluded to it that Slot has come in and he's gone for evolution rather than revolution. He's taken on this brilliant squad and they've got even better somehow this season. And in my opinion, I really rate Slot as a manager. I liked him before he was Liverpool manager. I was actually a little bit disappointed that he became Liverpool manager because I'm a professional hater when it comes to Liverpool. But as I say, I have to give them the flowers. They've been outstanding this season. For me, McAllister's probably a player to watch out for. He survived his assassination attempt on Wednesday night against Everton. So he'll come back and he'll probably play and he'll probably be good. He's always good against us when he plays against us, and he's just one of those players that he always is. Mo Salah speaks for himself. There's still Liverpool fans praying and hoping that he'll stay and he'll be there with them next season. But if it's the last time we see Mo Salah play at Craven Cottage on Sunday, it won't surprise me if it's an outstanding game because he's that type of player. For us, Cess, for me, has to be the player to watch if he starts, and hopefully he does start because he has been that one bit of ray of light when it comes to our attacking play over the last couple of weeks. He came on against Arsenal, got man of the match in 13 minutes of play. Tottenham at home, he scored after being on the pitch a minute. Wolves, he scored after a minute of starting the game. So he's one of those players. He is naturally gifted attacking wise, and if we're going to get anything out of this game, he's going to be the player to do that for me. The other player for me to watch is going to be probably whoever partners Anderson a centre back. Now, there's some rumours that it probably might not be Bassey on Sunday, but I would probably guess it will be Calvin Bassey coming back in because they're going to have a big job trying to keep those Liverpool attacking 4-5 quiet because when Liverpool attack, they are silky and it can work very, very dangerously. Scoreline prediction for me, I'm sort of in between it being an absolute disaster and us trying to keep the scoreline down. I agree with Drew in the sense that Liverpool will score at least 2 goals because we all know that we can play absolutely world-class defending against Liverpool and they'll get 2 penalties that are just because that's the way they play and our luck when we play against them. So I'm going to go either 2-1 or 2-0 as well, I think, because I just don't see us not conceding a couple because of the way they attack. Lads, thank you very much for joining me on this Liverpool preview. Difficult game tomorrow, obviously, against Liverpool as we look at this. Hopefully, when we come to do our match review on Monday night, it'll come out on Tuesday, we have something positive to talk about. Even if it's not a result, it's performance that we can at least take some heart in going into the rest of the season. Guys, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks everyone who has come and watched us. Thanks everyone who's come and subscribed to the channel over the last couple of weeks. Please do keep sharing and subscribing. The growth has been great and it's always nice for us to sort of hit it. We're so close to hitting that 100 subscribers, like so close. If we could do that, that would be brilliant. Other than that, let's have a good game. Let's hope for a good performance and come on, you Whites.